You never know when life will throw you a curveball and how severe the next break will be.
Tonight, sports director Ellingson is introducing us to an area man still fighting back against one of those curveballs thrown his way. He hopes his story gives a bit of courage to those afraid of seeking help. AJ has more from Studio 3 in a Covering Health special report.
For the past 7 years, I've been on the sidelines, in the dugout, and on the baseline with Charles City's Ryan Kronberg. He has a pen and a paper, I have my TV camera. But it wasn't until this fall that I really understood everything about the sports writer and friend. He lives with a serious condition that impacts his everyday life, and he's not alone in the battle. People just like him work with you and live in your neighborhoods, and you might not have any idea.
I'll never forget the first time we went to a Nebraska football game together, 11 years old, against Iowa State in 1992. It's the greatest day of my life at that point.
While most of us have one true love, Ryan Kronberg has two. The love of sports, mainly his Huskers, and a passion for journalism.
All is well, shall we say, with the world, whether it's going to a baseball game or going to a football game. No matter how screwed up my life, if screwed up things are going during the week.
Kronberg is now a sports writer in Charles City, typing his stories from the biggest events.
Isaac Wendland, the great comet runner who ran on this track. Jessie Simlinger, what more can you say about her? Covered 3 of her 4 golf titles.
From the outside, Ryan looks like a man at peace with his life. But looks can be deceiving, because a couple of years ago there was a third love of his life, a fellow journalist, one he met covering the state track meet.
Become friends on Facebook, swap emails, eventually swap phone numbers, and kind of took a life of its own. It was something I never saw coming.
Ryan then took a chance on the relationship, making a career change, taking one last picture in Charles City before heading south to Muscatine for a new life.
I'd been here 5.5 years and then just decided it was time for something different, time for a change.
But it all came crashing down. First, the career.
Early March, find out I'm fired. I'm out of a job, and it was rough.
And then the relationship. By Memorial Day, Ryan's next curveball came on a trip to his sports heaven, Lincoln, Nebraska, the home of his Huskers, and what turns out to be the day he tried to end his life.
Things happen that I never that never in a million years would have thought happened, and especially where it happened in Lincoln. Next thing I know, I find myself in an ambulance fighting for my life. I'd let fear and doubt and the grips of depression completely overwhelm me.
The World Health Organization reports Ryan is one of 350 million people worldwide dealing with depression.
It's the worst feeling ever. It'd been one thing if my job would have ended, but then to have this end 12 weeks later, things that had meant so much to me, my career, this relationship, it was too much for me that night.
Good morning, Vietnam!
I mean, when Robin Williams died, that hit a nerve. You know, you think he's the happiest-go-lucky guy in the world, and he's struggling with the same things I'm struggling with. It brought back a lot of flashbacks.
You've never held your best friend's head in your lap and watch him gasp his last breath.
Robin Williams' death struck a chord with Ryan, making him realize he's not alone, even though sometimes that's the way it feels.
The thing about depression that makes it so cruel is it makes you feel like you're the only one dealing with it. You're the only one going through that.
And that's why Ryan is telling me he wants others to know depression is happening to our friends and colleagues. However, there is help, there is hope, there is healing.
We're in this together. You're not alone. You can overcome this.
Ryan is back in Charles City once again working as a sports writer, currently on medication and seeking professional help for his ongoing battle with depression. But I wondered, because he's tried to commit suicide once, does that mean it's more likely to happen again?
If there's previous attempts, that person is more at risk. If they have friends, family that have had completed suicides, those people are more at risk.
Jim Anastasi has been in private practice in Mason City since 1977, working with people just like Ryan. As a friend, I wondered if there are things I could have done differently or signs I should look for in the future to make sure this won't happen again.
They're not eating or sleeping well. They sleep too much or they don't sleep at all. They're preoccupied. They may think and talk about death a lot. They may say things such as, "You'd be better off without me," or "You'll miss me when I'm gone."
Anastasi also says avoiding social contacts and not enjoying the same activities they have in the past are good indicators of depression. But as soon as you hear one of those phrases about suicide, it's important to not leave. Start the communication, find positives, not allowing something to happen when your friend or family member is alone.
And just to put Ryan's story into perspective, according to DoSomething.org, there is one completed suicide for every 25 suicide attempts, and about 2/3 of the people that do complete suicide were depressed at the time of their death.